Hello and welcome back to Creative Pet Keeping. My name is Kasha, I am your host, and I'm holding right now the next new tank that we are going to be doing an unboxing and review of. This is from the Wonder Factory. This is the V2 tank. It is pretty interesting. It's all the way from China, and I'm really curious to unbox this and give you my first impression. Now, I'm gonna split this up into two videos. I was originally gonna make this one video, but I decided to make it two. I think in the next video, we will escape it and maybe even put a new inhabitant inside. So without further ado, let's get started. First, let's start with taking a look at the packaging. I am going to breeze through this because there's not really much. You can pause and read this. The packaging is quite simple, and I think that is totally fine. The Wonder Factory, that is the company. It's kind of cool. So that means we can just get right to it and open up and see what's inside. So the first thing I do is just take a peek inside, make sure everything is okay, and then I remove the tank. It's not that difficult to remove. I end up using the little foam on top to set it on for now. And the first thing I unbox is the lid. It is plastic, which I'm totally fine with, and it also has a little disc that you can put in the middle to completely cover it to make sure your BETTA doesn't jump out. So I think that's really nice. And then here is the light, and also I took out the brick for plugging in all the electronics, but the light is also pretty simple and nice. There also was a little suction cup that was included with it as well. And moving on, now let's take out all the things that were inside the tank. So we've got some sand, we've got some volcanic rock, and we also have this very interesting stand, because this stand has got the little base right there, but it's got this little part which is a swivel. It swivels. I think that is kind of so neat and interesting. And then here is the decoration that comes with the tank, and I spent a lot of time touching this decoration, and the reason why I'm actually touching it so carefully is because I am seeing if there are any sharp edges, if this is very soft, because I want to make sure that if this was used for a BETTA with long fins, that the BETTA would not tear its fins on any sharp edges. So this is why I'm taking my time to check the decorations. I think it's very important for decorations to be very soft, and this passes the test. And then the last thing that was included was the rock that I put down, the rocks, or there's multiple rocks, we'll see in the future. Oh, and there's more stuff. So you get this little aquarium cleaning set that comes with a net, a sponge, a rake, and a plant fork, and all of these are kind of interchangeable. So you get this one kind of, they're all plastic, and then you get to kind of interchangeably put them together. And at first, here's me just kind of figuring out how it works together. So see, it just assembles very easily. I think it's kind of nifty that that's included. I wonder if it would be easy to lose the pieces since they're all like separate pieces. The rake is kind of interesting. It looks like a little tiny pooper scooper in my opinion, which I thought was kind of cute. For the longest time, I'm not the brightest cookie. I couldn't figure out what this was. I was like, what is this? And it turns out that's just a handle. But when I do these reviews, I really like to go into it kind of blind without not knowing too much about the product. I try to avoid knowing things so that way I can experience this like a consumer that just bought this tank for the first time and trying them out. So that was a little cleaning sponge for the glass, and then this is the fork for planting plants, the roots inside. I don't know how to use this one. So we're down to two more things. We've got the little thermometer sticker, which I'll get to in a little bit, and here is the instructions. It is just one card. It's very simple, which I like simple. I don't really like to read a lot of instructions. I'm kind of lazy like that, but you can take a look at this and read this yourself if you would like to pause this, but I will go over it as well. So they give you kind of example of some fish that they recommend in this tank. This is a 3-gallon tank. It's pretty small, so you don't really have a lot of options. But what I do like is they do mention that if you get a BETTA fish, they don't recommend you mixing it with other fish, and that's noted at the top, and I think that is pretty good advice overall. They also provide you with a QR code and just basic information about how to install it, what to do. They're telling you to keep it out of direct sunlight. They're telling you as well to only feed your fish 2 to 3 times per week, which, you know, it really varies based on what kind of fish you have, how many fish you have. with feeding. So I feel like that is okay advice. I prefer to feed my fish a bit more often, but I understand with a really small tank, you don't want to overfeed. And then they say to only turn on the light for viewing fish, which makes sense because you have a plastic plant. But I feel like it would be nice if there was specifications that if you have like live plants, that you should leave it on longer, obviously. Then there's also the installations, which is just very simple steps. You can read them, and they match what the video pretty much shows you. So it is pretty simple. Right now I'm going to scan the QR code so I can show you what pops up. So it's really simple. You just click on it and then you get to see a nice little tutorial, as well as tutorials for their other tanks on how to set it up, everything you have to do. That you have to rinse all your materials, gives you an example of how to put it together, how to fill it up. Fun little features. I even, thanks to the video, figured out that there's a cool nifty feature on how to remove water from this tank that I didn't even know, and I thought that was really nifty. So I feel that the videos are really helpful and nice, and I think that it's really good, and more companies should be including these nice little tutorial videos with their kits to make it much easier for beginners to figure things out. Hi! Future Kasha here. I'm editing this video right now actually, and I wanted to add a little bit of information about the packet. This is not particularly aimed at the Wonder Factory. This is just a basic thing I've noticed with all the tanks I've been reviewing, and that is with every tank I've reviewed, there hasn't been very good aquarium cycling information, and in here there is no aquarium cycling information. And I always focus on beginner fish keepers and try to put myself always in the shoes of a beginner who may not have ever had a fish tank before, maybe brand new to this, are picking up a tank for the first time, and I might be using this or any of the other instructions that come with the tanks I've reviewed as their basic information. Of course, you would assume and hope that people would do extra research, but you don't know. Some people do, some people don't. So the Wonder Factory or any other companies that might be watching my video right now are watching this, I would really hope that you can include either a video that you can link to your instructions or add into instructions, just some information about what is aquarium cycling and how to cycle your aquarium to make it safe for your fish. I think that would be so helpful, especially for beginners who are trying out these tanks. Just wanted to add that in here. So back to the video. Next thing I want to take a look at is the filter, which is already inside. It's included, it's assembled, you don't have to do anything. It is an undergravel filter, which is kind of an old school design, making a comeback, which I'm pretty excited for. So the water outtake in the tube, then there's also a pump over there, and that's where the water kind of gets sucked up from the bottom. So it will kind of circle all the way around, and you don't need to have like an external filter. So this is kind of nifty. Next, let's take a look at the bass. I'm so amused by this. I was like playing with this like a turntable. Like I'm a DJ, I'm a fish DJ, boopity boop, making cool little beats. But there's like a interesting pattern kind of on there that looks sort of like the planet Earth maybe. I was trying to figure out what it was, but I was very intrigued by this bass because I have never encountered a tank that spins. So I was like, this is cool, this is nifty. But after watching the video tutorial, it was very easy to figure out how to put this together, and for this to kind of assemble is super easy. Bam, pop it in, and then there you go. You have a spinning tank. And oh my gosh, I am so entertained and amused by the fact that this spins. Like, does it need to spin? Probably not, but I love it. And then on the back, let's take a little closer look. They also have a little QR code for their WhatsApp where you can actually ask questions and if you need customer support. So I think that's kind of cool that that's included as well. You also have the Max Line sticker, just kind of big. And I wish it was a little smaller because then maybe you can keep it. I'll remove it probably, but if it was smaller, you know, you can probably keep it on there for reference for yourself. But I love that this spins. This is so entertaining. Like, I couldn't stop spinning this. And then I decided to start to unravel all the cords, and I figured let's put together the light. The light itself was not too difficult to assemble, but it took me a couple seconds to kind of figure out which way to put it in. So here I was like, do I put the cord through? And then I realized there's a little groove, which I'll try to show you, where the cable can kind of stick out so you can put it inside, so that way it doesn't have to go through, it won't fit through. And that way you can kind of like pop it in. So here I'm trying to figure out which way it goes, experimenting, but it just like was able to go in, and once it goes in, it's very easy. And then it's easy to take it back out and put it back in if needed. And then I was checking out the cables and I saw that there were 2 different colors. And then I wondered, like, does it matter which one I plug it into? Does the blue mean filter and red mean light? I don't know. But in the end, I ended up just plugging in whichever one, and things seemed to have worked. Next, I wanted to test the light. Now, this light is not advertised as a plant light. It is quite strong and it is quite nice, but I don't really know how it would grow live plants for you. I'm still probably gonna use live plants in this tank setup in the future, and I'll try it out and we'll see how this works out. And then I tried to see if the lid is easy to put on, which, no surprise, it is. I was also checking the hole, the little feeding hole. I do like that it's plastic because it's less easy to break. My only concern is later on, if it gets dirty, if you're cleaning it, would the plastic scratch easily in the future? That's something I was just wondering about. But overall, I like the light and how easy it is to adjust, and I do like the lid. I'll probably be using the lid for sure. I did check if the filter is removable, and yes it is. It's very easy to take it in and out. So if you don't want to use this filter and want to use something else, you have that option, which I think is nice. Oh, it's always good to have options. The last thing I'm going to do is fill up this tank just so we can turn on the filter and run it, just so I can see how strong it is, what is the flow, and just also test if there are any leaks in the tank. That will be the last thing we're going to do. So I'm filling it up to the max line, and then I'm going to plug it in and see how it runs. So here I plugged it in, and the flow is pretty good. It's not too strong. I'm kind of testing it with my finger. It is not too weak either, and the water will just kind of flow around in a circle. There is no way to really adjust the flow, but I think that's kind of okay. I told you we're going to get to the thermometer, so this also comes with one of those stick-on thermometers that you can stick to the side of your tank. I've personally never found them to work super well, so I won't be using it, but I'll mostly be playing around and using all these little extra things that come with this tank, especially this little part. This little part I still don't know how to really fully use. So that's something I have to do. Is I'm going to be on a mission to figure out how to use this little root scoopy tool of scaping. I kind of wish that maybe the tools were not made out of plastic. I mean, it's okay. It's not a problem because, I mean, obviously it's not going to rust or anything. But at the same time, like, I don't know, I wish it was like fancier to go with the fanciness of the tank, because the tank has a fancy vibe. But then the tools, they're good, they're useful, but they're kind of like less fancy feeling, if that makes sense. So here I'm going to demo the little glass cleaning tool, which is nice to have. So it's cool that all these things are included, and you know, they're going to be probably useful, but I have to still test them out to see just how useful they are. My one complaint is that the cable is a bit short. So see, I'm plugged in right here and there's not really much for me to do, and I can't really move the tank and spin it around very much. So I really wish the cables were longer than they are. So what is my overall impression of this tank? I like this. I think this is actually really fun. I like how the filter is coming back, because undergravel filters used to be all the rage back in the day, and I think it's cool. I like that you have all the scaping materials included as well. Even though, like, I probably won't be using the fake plant. Maybe I'll use it in like a quarantine tank or something, but I'm sure someone would find this useful, might like it. So I think that it's really cool that all these things are included, and just overall, I think this is a good tank. I think this is a nice purchase. The tools are a cool bonus. I don't really know if they're like necessary or needed, but it's nice that they're included. It's got fun features. It's got, you know, I like that it has the videos and pretty good instructions. And overall, I am pretty pleased with what this company has made with this tank. There is going to be another tank from this company I'm going to check out as well and do a review on, and I'm really interested to see and what's going to be my opinion of that one. But I like so far what this has to offer, and I recommend this tank if you would like to try it for yourself. It's pretty cool, it's pretty nifty, and it is easily customizable. It's got all the basic things you need, minus a heater, I guess. And that's kind of my opinion of this cool tank. So thank you for watching my video. I hope that you enjoyed this. I would love to know down in the comments below what you think of this tank. What is your initial impression based on watching my review and video, as well as if you are interested in purchasing this tank yourself, I will have an affiliate link down below for Amazon so you can get it for your very own BETTA or any other critter. So thank you so much for watching my video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!